And welcome to the Soden Bowl Network. I am S. Soden. I am here with some awesome news. The SBN Tournament of Champions on the Xbox console, brought to you and only on SBN in conjunction with YouTube Gaming. We have some cool news tonight. Looks like the kickoff for this event will be July 1st. Details are 128 players, no more than 128. So I have to cut the limit at 128 players. What does that mean for the event? Well, that means that we are going to have a bracket single elimination. We'll get into that in a minute. I'll show you what the brackets will look like. Basically, we're about 40 players shy of 128, but we had 70 or 80 players sign up in the first 7 days. We still have about 3.5 weeks of signups here, so I don't think we're going to have too much of a problem hitting 128. I think we're going to have to push some people away. But 128 players, you don't have to be from a league. You can be solo, but it is Xbox only. We do ask you to conduct yourself in our Discord server in a professional manner. You can kid around, joke around, but we don't want to see any arguing in there. Now, you guys can make fun of each other all you want. I really don't care. You can make fun of me. I really don't care. But I don't want to see you degrading another player. I don't want to see guys arguing about a game. The rules are very, very simple, and we'll go over them in a few minutes. But if you have an issue in game, finish your game and make sure your VODs, your recordings for your stream, are savable so we can go back and take a look at it. If we can't take a look at it, then so bad, too bad, so sad. It is what it is. This will not be the only event that SBN puts on. We will have a Madden 20 tournament as well. So I highly suggest that you guys conduct yourselves in a professional manner when it comes to gameplay, yada, yada, yada. Follow the rules. Treat others as you wish to be treated. And let's have some fun with this thing. Remember, this event is to unite the Madden CFM community. This is not an event geared towards division. We're not here to kick people out. We're not here to ensure somebody wins. Look, you're gonna play that virtual game of football. You're gonna leave it all on that virtual field when you're done. You know what? Just because the Alpha Heel 7 beats somebody, he's not even in the event, but just because he beats somebody doesn't mean he's necessarily a better Madden player than you. It just means that he was better on that day. Maybe he got the breaks. Maybe the Madden gods were on his side. Whatever makes you feel better at the end of the day. But getting back to the event, if you are still looking to sign up, guys, sign-ups are super simple. Go to sbn.community, and you can't miss it. You'll see it at the very top in the header. It'll be the SBN Tournament of Champions. Click that. It's going to tell you about the event. The event is 100% free for anybody with an Xbox and an internet connection and Madden 19. And then from there, it will give you a link to our Discord server. When you join the server, you have to sign up in the hashtag signups. Make sure you include your gamer tag. And if you want to represent a league or organization, put it there too. You'll see. Just follow the leader, guys. You can't miss it. Super easy. If you have any problems, just ask. Just type it in the chat and ask. We tried to make this extremely easy for everybody. So far, so good. Now, looking at this on your screen right now, which has been here for a while, you see this. This is our broadcast overlay. Okay, we are going to broadcast select games inside this tournament. This tournament is going to flow with basically round one. Round one would be the first set of brackets, which is I think roughly 16 brackets, 16 sub brackets of 8 teams each. It's going to flow about 1 to 3 days. After 3 days, we move on to the next round. If you haven't played your game, then too bad for you. Too bad for the person you're playing. We have to move on, and we have to keep this thing going. This event on paper should take no longer than 18 days to get from round one until the point where I have two teams that are ready to play each other to be crowned the Tournament of Champions champion and win that copy of Madden 20. Um, the runner up, we'll get into prizes here in a minute, right after the rules. But getting back to this is our overlay. This is what the game is going to look like when you watch. Obviously, the game will be, in that area that the SB Network motto is in. You will see the feed there. And then, of course, you look at this, you have player one. We're using MSR and the Blitz as an example. You guys that play for other leagues, if you do not have your logo in a PNG format with a transparent background, I cannot use your logo there. These guys have followed the rules, and their logos are provided. Your name would be there, who you represent. Now, if you do not represent a league, you will carry the SB Network background and logo with you simply for for content purposes. It's going to be in there so it doesn't look blank. Now, looking at this, you can see these logos, the mini logos underneath the Tournament of Champions in that white bar. Those are all the logos and sponsors in this event. They are listed there. And if you want your logo there, it means that I do not have a usable copy of your logo. That logo needs to be posted in the correct section of our chat for post your logo. And that's it. This is what it will look like here. We will have special guests on during our broadcasts, commissioners. We'll have a couple personalities like League Crawler on, and whoever else wants to join us and talk about the game that is going on. It's going to be very fast paced. We're going to move from one game to another. The sooner that you guys can give us a time, a time and a day that you're going to get your game played, we can go ahead and get that broadcast ready for you. It takes about 10 minutes to set up a broadcast. So let's make sure that you are, that if you want your game broadcast, that you are giving us as much notice as you possibly can. And as we progress further into this event, basically all the games will be broadcast at that point. So let's go ahead and move on into our second thing here. We're going to go ahead and talk about the rules. These will be displayed in the Discord server in the hashtag rules section. Do not comment in the rules, please. This is going to be just for this and this only. I will respond to your comments, or another staff member will respond to your comment. Once it's addressed, we will remove it from the rules so that way we can stay on topic. This exact image you will find in the rules at the conclusion of this broadcast. I'm going to go ahead and go through these with you. Now, before I get into it, I want you guys to know that, we try to do something of a sim, sim play, but, it's really hard because some leagues are more sim than others, or they have more rules than other leagues. So, if we took rules from MSR and then compared them to rules from, XMFL, they might be different. I'm not saying they are, but they might be different. And we don't want to cater to one league, so to speak, and maybe not another league. I want this to be fair for everybody. I want this to be something where you are playing for fun versus trying to memorize a rule book. A lot of these other leagues, like my league, Soden Bowl, we have a pretty in-depth rule book, and it takes guys a couple games to get used to it. So I don't want that in this event. So without further ado, our pre-game rules. Teams will play in an unranked head-to-head match. You will be using the default roster, whatever that roster is at the time of your game. That is what you guys will use. The top team is the away team. When you are looking at our bracket, the top team is the away team. The bottom team on the bracket, you are the home team. Okay? The home team sends the invite to join. He creates that. He creates the server that you are going to play on and sends you an invite. The away team will broadcast. We prefer Twitch. If you have to use Mixer, fine. I'll have to try to find a way to grab your link. But we prefer Twitch because it is a higher quality than what Mixer is. But we'll work with what we get. Team selection is done at the controller select screen, and point spreads will be in use. Now, this is a point spread league. If you don't know it, now you do. Every team will have a point spread attached to them and posted on our Discord server. That point spread will be based on your team's overall. So obviously the highest overall team, they are going to have a minus. I'm not quite sure on the point spread. I have to run it by the other admins, but they are going to have a minus figure next to them. And then if we go to the other side of this argument, if you will, the lowest ranked team, they will have a plus points addressed to them. So what this means is if you are the higher ranked team, you have to overcome a possible negative point spread against you and also win the football game. What does this do? It encourages people to use lesser ranked teams. Put some strategy in this thing. Maybe you're a huge I don't know who the lowest overall ranked team is. If you're a huge whoever the lowest ranked team is, probably the Lions or somebody. If you were a Lions fan, you want to use that Lions team, and you're going up against somebody that has the Patriots or the Eagles, then they're going to have to overcome a point spread to beat you as well. Okay, super simple, guys. You have up until you hit that A button to start the game to select your team. Once you have selected your team in game, that is it. It is final. I don't want to hear I didn't understand the point spread. Nope, not going to work, guys. You are going to have about 3 weeks to get these rules in and understand them. Ask the rest of the community. A lot of these guys understand it. It is simple. Now, because there is a point spread, if a tie occurs with the point spread, let's say you're playing a -4 and all of a sudden this game is tied, then basically the lower overall team will win the tiebreaker by default. Now, if you are both the exact same overall and you have obtained the same score and there is no tiebreaker there with the overall, I will flip a coin and the winner, the home team, will select heads or tails, and they will move on. Whoever selects that, whoever guesses that coin flip correctly. Football games start with a coin toss, and a potential tie will end with a coin toss if the other tiebreaker is invalid. So make sure you guys take that in consideration when you play. Treat each game as if it is your last, because it very well may be your last. If you lose, you are out. But please stick around in the chat. The more activity that we can get, guys, the more events, the more prizes I can provide for you. And we can keep this momentum into Madden 20 and grow and make it cooler, and move on from there. Now, back to the rules here. Home team selects the time of day, the weather, but must use the natural home stadium. So if you're the Titans, you have to use the Titans home stadium. Okay, you can't go playing in Foxborough. You have to use the Titans stadium. However, being the home team, you do get to select the weather and the time of day that you're playing on. Now, sliders and settings. All games will be played on all Madden. Default sliders, default settings. Okay, these will be 8-minute quarters with a 20-second bleed. Everything else is stock, all 50s. It doesn't matter, injuries, all that stuff will stay on 50. Whatever that default is, that is what we will play on. No deviations will be allowed. Okay, getting back to the save your VODs. That's basically your stream. You have to make sure it is saved. If you do not know how to do that, ask in the chat or simply Google How do I save my Twitch VODs? How do I save my Mixer VODs and follow the steps? It has to be done on a computer. It cannot be done on the console. You can do it, I believe you can do it on your phone too, but not through the app. You have to use an internet connection, i.e., Google Chrome on your phones. Unless you're like Big Al and you have a rotary phone still at home, then you can't do that, obviously. But don't be like Big Al. In-game rules, guys. These are the big ones. Pausing. If your opponent pauses the game, do not unpause it on him. He has obviously paused the game for a reason. I don't care if you have to go to work, guys. Don't unpause the game on them. That will lead to your removal from the league. That is unsportsmanlike. Pause the game. You will notice in the bottom corner when he is ready, the time will start ticking down from 30 seconds. Once that happens, you can unpause because he has readied up. You may not use the same offensive play twice or more in the same drive. Okay? Super simple. Don't do it. Now, does that mean that I can use 4 verticals out of the gun 3 bunch wide receiver set and then turn around and use verticals and single back trips? Yes, you can still do that. You just can't use that same exact play that you had called before. Again, VODs are saved. We can go back and take a look at it. You shouldn't be calling. I mean, most of these guys come from sim leagues, so you understand that. Just about every league, I'm sure you have to mix up your plays. Okay, don't do things that just because something's not listed here, guys. Try to understand and not use things in the game that break the AI down, okay? There's no rule on that. Don't be calling your opponent out on that because Soden said in his broadcast. No, I'm talking about professionalism and sportsmanship. Be a professional, be a good sportsman. Win or lose, it really doesn't matter to me. Everybody in here is extremely talented in Madden, and you guys can beat anybody at any given day. I'm sure everyone in this league will probably beat me if you played me. I am not playing in the event. My company directly sponsors this event, so therefore it is a conflict of interest for me. I would much rather take these proceeds and give them away to somebody else that wants to play. So, moving forward here, 4th down. If you are winning or tied, you may not attempt a 4th down conversion or a fake punt. I don't see you doing a field goal from the 50, but you may not attempt a fake field goal either unless you are on the other team's 49-yard line or closer to their end zone. Now, if you are losing, you can go for it at any point in the game. It doesn't matter. Quitting is not allowed. If a disconnect happens, play from the spot of the disconnect and mimic the score in who has the ball, i.e. possession. Okay? How you guys determine that, if you just want to play, say it's in the 4th quarter, the game disconnects, with a few minutes left in the 4th quarter, you guys can restart this game and you can say, hey, look, virtually or imaginary, we're going to imagine the score is whatever it was, and we're going to play this quarter into the end. And that's it. If you guys want to do it that way, that's cool with me. If you want to do it the old-fashioned way and bleed the clock all the way until the 4th quarter, you can do that too. But remember, this is an unranked game. It's not a franchise CFM game, so I do not need the final tabulation to be done in the game to move you on. So, yeah, however you guys want to do that, but you do have to mimic what had happened. Now, if it was a 0-0 game or something like that, or 14-14, and you guys say, hey, look, let's just replay this thing, and you both agree on that, cool, go for it. Okay, I would much rather whatever both owners agree on to be the way to handle it, then that's fine by me. Just let us know what you guys are doing. Obviously, if we're broadcasting the game, we're going to want to know what's going on. So again, quitting is not allowed, guys. If you're quitting these things, then you're obviously a poor sport, and you probably shouldn't be partaking in any more SBN tournaments. Now, there's other eyes on you, other leagues that host tournaments. They are watching and participating. So do not make a bad name for yourself in an SBN tournament because it's probably going to follow you with a lot of other leagues. We have a lot of leagues in this event. Winning. The winning team must take a picture of the final scoreboard. Then you take that image, you post that image in the hashtag submit scores channel in our Discord server. That way, I know what the final score is, and I can advance the proper team to the next round. Now, if you guys had a custom game like we just talked about with a disconnect, fine. I don't need an image, guys. Simply post the final score. That's it. I don't need to know stats. You can include them in your screenshot if you want to. Big Al does. Big Al is going to run the huddle based on the tournament. He's going to talk about some of the various players in this league and matchups and go from there. So again, make sure you post your submit scores into the hashtag submit scores channel in our Discord server. That is all that I have for rules at this time. If we feel like we need to add another rule before the start of the tournament, we will, and we will let you guys know. But right now, I want to keep it simple, and I want to let you guys show your skills on the field. Look, if you can run around with your linebacker and intercept passes, great. If you're awesome with the safety and you want to run around, get stuff, cool. Some leagues have roaming rules, some don't. So we're not going to use any roaming rules. We're going to play the game that the way EA intended us to play, with some basic rules here to kind of keep things fair. So, moving on from rules, the last thing that we have here is an example. Now, this is just an example of what our brackets look like. We do have the bottom header here. This is still the broadcast. So this would be a broadcast and then maybe a picture of what this bracket looks like inside the broadcast. Now, this is our Joe Montana bracket winner. Looking at 128 players, that is 16 brackets of 8 teams. 8 teams will compete against each other in each sub-bracket using Joe Montana as one of them. Again, there will be 15 other brackets with different names. You will get assigned to those brackets. You will see your name in these little slots here. Like if you look up at Player 1, MSR, see how these logos play a role here, guys? It advertises your league. You guys are participating in this event. There is no harm in advertising your league. A lot of leagues in here are fantastic. I mean, there is so many good CFM leagues right now in Madden that it's amazing. And some of them aren't even in this event. But, again, give me your images so you can be included in here. So, this is bracket, we'll say number 1 for now, the Joe Montana bracket. You see him in the background there. So then basically what happens is round 1 are these matchups on both sides of the brackets. Player 1 versus 2, 3 versus 4, 5 versus 6, and 7 versus 8. That happens in 15 more brackets at the exact same time. You guys will have 1 to 3 days to schedule and play your game. You cannot play your game on day 4. That is unacceptable. We are giving you 3 days to get this game in. Again, it's 45 minutes out of your life here. If you want to be in the event, cool. If you can't make it and you're going to give your opponent the win, then you let us know. We'll give them the win. No harm, no foul. They will move on. Now, looking at this bracket, you will obviously see how it flows. The winners of teams players 1 and 2 will advance into the TBD, to be determined. The same with 3 and 4, the same with 5 and 6, and the same with 7 and 8. Once those games are all played, we enter into round 2 of our event, which is still in this sub-bracket. That will face there'll be 2 games inside this bracket. And then those guys will play each other. And then we will have 2 teams that are vying for the Joe Montana bracket winner trophy. These 2 teams will play, and it will happen 15 other times at the same time. Again, 1 to 3 days for each round. These 2 teams will face off. We will determine a winner for each bracket. Then those guys will move on to basically a 16-player bracket. Again, it's going to be 2 brackets divided up into 2 more 18 brackets, just like this. You guys will compete again in the same format, and we will crown another bracket champion from each side, and you 2 players moving on past that will play for the championship. Now, the champion will win a free copy of Madden 20, a digital copy that you will be given a code to on the day of release. You will get that game free of charge. The runner-up will win $20 gift certificate to Best Buy or GameStop. I'm not sure which one yet. In addition to the Madden 20 copy and the $20 to the runner-up, we will be giving away $300 in prizes. How these prizes are awarded, we are not going to release that information yet. It could be awarded to some of the sub bracket winners, and we're also looking at rewarding this in the chat. Every single game that is broadcast by the SBN network will be broadcast on our partner YouTube Gaming. People that comment in the chat, we may ask various questions. Whatever it might be, you win that. You may win some cash. You might win a gift card. But we are going to give away an additional $300 in prizes. So, thank you to our sponsors. Thank you to Allied Plumbing and Heat, a name you can trust in the Colorado Springs area. Thank you to Madden Accord. Thank you to League Crawler, Daddy Leagues, Discord. Being a Discord affiliate is huge for us. It allows us to offer other perks inside the Discord server that is just cool for everybody else. It also pays the bills. Thank you to YouTube and YouTube Gaming for giving us this platform to produce and bring the content to you. Guys, shoot us a follow. Shoot us a sub on YouTube if you don't mind. The more attention we can get, the bigger and better this thing can become. So if you don't mind, you're watching this video, you have the link to our channel. Please subscribe, like our videos that you watch, like the broadcasts. Be active inside the broadcast, guys. This is the stuff that makes things like this work. If nobody's active, then what's the point of doing all this? Activity and people being happy is what matters the most, not who wins this event to me. Also on Twitter, we will be posting updates on the SBN Twitter. Our Twitter handle is Soden_bowl_19. That is our Twitter handle. Shoot us a follow on Twitter. We will follow you back. You guys, we like a lot of other leagues' content out there. We are partnered on our PlayStation side, the Grown Folk online communities. We are a partner with them. We do the Xbox stuff on this side. They take care of PlayStation on their side. They have some cool content, guys. Shoot them a follow too if you want. Check out what the other guys on PSN are doing. We have some guys that play in their PSN league and then they double and play in our Xbox league. It's fantastic because we get to hear what it's like on the PlayStation side. It's just cool. The more friends you can make in this gaming industry, the better off you are. If you're running a league, if you're part of a league, you might get some ideas from another league, and that's cool. Use some of the ideas. Ask some of the commissioners in here questions about their leagues. But, so looking at this tournament, guys, I don't want to take up any more of your time. It's 128 players. Tell your friends, let's get this thing filled up. And kickoff for this event will be July 1st. I will be broadcasting games. Big Al will be broadcasting games. The Alpha Heel 7 will be broadcasting games. If you want to be a part of the broadcast crew, maybe provide some commentary, please let me know, and we can make that happen. Kilo Ren's going to provide some insight on some of these games. He is a John Gruden, if you will, in the booth. He breaks down a lot of plays and strategies, and he's a damn good player. I don't think he's playing in the event, so that's a good thing for you guys. I'm not saying he's the best player in here, but he is a very good player. So that is it, guys. In conclusion, make sure you read these rules, and I am out of here. Have a good night, happy weekend, and good luck.